Sorry about that.
Here.
Go ahead, Alderman.
Sir. We will start with item 47. It's a resolution authorizing the city engineer to amend an existing agreement with Donahue and Associates Incorporated for engineering consulting services related to the design of the emergency generator located at the West Dallas Police and Municipal Court Center in the amount of, or amount not to exceed $31,000.
Move for approval.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Okay, seeing none. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. And then item 48 on tonight's agenda is a resolution accepting work of Lalonde Contractors for street construction and authorizing settlement of said contract in accordance with the contract terms for final payment of the 2019 project number 3 in the amount of $3,000.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 49, resolution to amend an existing professional services contract with ACOM Technical Services, Inc. to provide construction engineering services for 2 Green Solution parking lots in the Business Improvement District for an amount not to exceed $19,400.
Move to approve.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Could
Aye.
Could I have
Oh.
discussion,
Oh.
explanation on that one?
They would be designing the permeable pavement in the parking lots. So in the bid district, there's a parking lot in between 71st and 72nd, and a parking lot between 73rd and 74th that we're doing some green parking lot stuff with, and they will just handle the permeable pavement part of it. There's a different contract doing bioswales and that sort of thing somewhere else.
Okay, thank you.
Can I just ask who you are?
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, I'm Tracy Gegler. I work for Pete in the engineering department.
Oh, okay. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
I didn't know that.
She's my more than
I
Peter.
feel like I know you because I watch you guys on YouTube.
Really?
Autographs later.
That means that you're YouTube famous.
Yeah. You should get a hobby.
I apologize.
Dave, she's my
Mr.
more
Chair.
than Pete. She got a little more smiling, you know?
Okay.
There we go.
Okay, it's been, did we, vote? We haven't voted yet. We just moved and seconded.
Right.
Or no, but you, okay, all in
Yep.
favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Okay. Good to meet you. Number 50, resolution to approve bid of MJ Construction Incorporated for water main relay and pavement restoration in South 104th Street from Dakota to Manitoba Street and 105th Street from West Dakota Street to West Manitoba Street in the city of West Dallas in the amount of $298,107.
Move to approve. Second.
Okay, any discussion? Yes, I do, Dave. Why such a concentrated area? Why, it just,
This is an engineering thing. Heath from our department designed a water main relay project for this area.
right.
Because it was very old. So it's a concentrated area because he's replacing the entire water main for this.
Oh, okay, I just didn't know. Usually we do the relays like a block here and then 3 blocks further west, and they're just more scattered. This more of a shotgun effect, but this seems very concentrated, and I was curious. Okay, it's, do we have a motion yet? I forgot. Oh, okay, it's been moved.
Second.
It's on file.
No, that's
No.
not the one.
That's not the one.
No, this is resolution.
Now
We
you're
have to-
asking all in favor.
I know. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Now we have a communication, item 51, a communication from the city engineer regarding the 2022 special assessment rates.
Move to place on file.
We want to hear what they have
Wanna hear
at
some?
all?
Okay.
Right.
Pete looked at the past paving projects and he tracks how much prices go up over the different years. And in 2019, prices went way up. And I think that on a past agenda, he probably asked for an increase and I think it was denied. So looking at over the last 3 years, He's recommending a 3.5% increase to the special assessment rates. Because if you average out the last 28 years, 3.5% is approximately the increase in prices.
Do you happen to know what the percentage is now? So after the 3.5, what will it be then? Or if it goes, if we go with the 3.5%, what will it be next year?
I'm not sure, I'd have to get back to
I
you.
think a lot of that depends on inflation, what the cost for concrete.
Right, but isn't there a percentage rate?
He's asking for the 3.5%. So on special assessments, it's normally by linear foot of frontage
Correct.
or something. So there's set prices in there now, and he's asking for each one of those line items to be increased by 3.5%. So it'll change depending on whether you're talking about sidewalk, driveway, a resurfacing, a reconstruct. So there's a whole one-page document that lists out what all the special assessments.
Mr. Chair,
Alderman Stefanski?
is the 3.5% a range? Or is it, do you want the increase of 3.5% right now?
3.5% right now. So
Okay.
there's a sheet of paper that has all the rates. Increase them all by 3.5% for this 2022 year.
Okay.
Because we haven't had an increase, and I know in 2019, there was a huge 32% increase in prices when we were out in construction, and we have not adjusted for that. So a 3.5% increase would be helpful for covering those costs.
Gotcha.
There was a motion to place on file?
Yeah, I did.
No, approve and place on file, isn't it?
Approve and place on file.
Right. I move to approve and place on file.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any discussion? Motion carries.
Motion to adjourn.
Go ahead.
Second.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. We are adjourned. Thank you.
Then the license and health comes back to order once more. So we have item 59, ordinance to amend outdoor premises temporary extension process. Rebecca. you have a-
Yes, Mr. Chair, I think this is our second or third kick at this.
Third.
Yes, we've had a lot of
I'm
tweaking.
counting 3, Rebecca. It's getting better each time, though.
Hopefully it will be money now. So we simplified, we're simplifying the process. You would in a minute or two, you're gonna be talking about exceptions and things like that for temporary extensions, and then we have to assign people fees based on all the exceptions, and it gets very convoluted, and plus we had a seasonal component to it. So the proposed amendment is that one-day events for each would be $75. If you want a number of months, you would pay $525. And we wouldn't have all this 200 feet thing is $100 or, that kind of thing. So it would just make it
Make it a lot easier that way.
for us and the applicants to understand. So. I'll try not to bring anything else about this till a few years from now.
So,
You know it's going to come back when
Any-
warm season comes out
Further
again, right?
question from the community?
Chairman Vitale, this is just an adjustment of the fees.
Yes, so it is.
So our approvals still remain the same for special use. It's just a fee scale change.
We're,
It's a little different process, so the one day only events, they would be put on consent agenda, and then you could
Gotcha.
take them off and refer them to.
aren't we on item 59 right now?
Right.
Yes.
Okay,
5-9, yeah.
okay.
Yeah, item 60.
Is it going along with it?
Yeah.
Okay,
they
so-
are
Not the
together.
Okay, so are we doing both of them together as one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Alderman.
so clarify, $75 for the first one, but anything over the first is 500 for a number of them? No?
Each day is $75.
Oh, each day it's
Yes.
75.
Or if you want to range, like a seasonal one,
Okay,
many months, it would be $525
Okay.
total.
all right, thanks
And
for
if you
Easier that
want,
clarifying.
way.
and if you want to extend your premises permanently, it would cost $525 just for that process, but then it would be on your license.
So we need to approve 59 and 60.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Opposed? The aye have it. So we move forward with item 61, Class B Tavern temporary premise extension request for Westella Cheese and Sausage Shoppe, 6832 West Mitchell, with 3 exception proximity to residential premise requirement establishment in less than 200 feet from a residential premise, exceptions from sound limitation, and exception from outside normal durations for an event to be held on Saturday, October 2nd, 2021. Any
Chair.
questions from the committees? Yes, go ahead.
We have it put in there that he's got to be under the decibel level?
I think we can put it in. I mean,
100.
Under 100.
yeah, it'll be under
From the
100.
point of the music.
Yep.
The music, yes,
Yep.
yes, you're right. So any further question from the committee members?
We're on 61, that'll be
Yeah.
for cheese and sausage.
Yeah,
Yep, so we're right there.
All right.
Okay, do we have a motion?
we need an motion, yes.
Motion to approve.
Second.
As
In favor of the
as
motions?
added, the item.
Adding
With the amended-
The amendment.
Decibel
This- yes.
reading at 100
100.
decibels from
Yes.
the point of music.
Yep.
Does
So the
Mr.
motion
Lutz
is
know?
approval?
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Does Mr. Lutz know, or will he be informed as far as how to do that? He would have a sound company? I mean, that seems to be
The clerk office, they
traditional.
will.
Okay,
Yeah.
all
I'll tell
right,
them tomorrow.
all right.
So,
I see them every
so we
morning.
have a
bike
motion
riding.
of,
Seriously.
second,
It's been moved and seconded.
Yeah.
we move to second. All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The aye have it. Then we move on to item 62. Class B Tavern temporary premise extension request for Polly Pubs, 8031 West Greenfield Avenue, with 3 exceptions, proximity to residential premises requirements, established in less than 200 feet from residential premises, exceptions from sound limitation, exceptions from the normal time duration for events to be held September 10, 12, September 18, and 19, September 25th, and 26.
Mr. Chair?
Yes. Yes, Alderman Person.
Mr. Chair, and I would recommend that we just have discussion on this
Yeah, sure.
amongst us. But I think that we put this together originally during the period of COVID, that we'd give business an opportunity to survive through the business to survive through COVID. We've made a lot of strides, and we've gotten there. I oppose approval of this. I'm going to make a motion to deny, but I would like discussion on it, based on the fact that, just as we had exhibited this evening, there's other businesses that are looking to get licensed, and they have people who are coming and petitioning, and we have to listen to the voices of our constituents as well. I think that Paulie's had a tremendously great run of having, the live concerts throughout the summer. I know that he's looking to do this as a regular operating business proposal. However, I just can't wrap myself around it and not listen to the constituents and the homeowners in the area. That this is just too much of a good thing. So that's my stance on this.
Mr. Chair?
Alderman Stefanowski.
This is just for these 3 weekends. This isn't anything to do with the public hearing, correct?
No, nothing has nothing to do with it.
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. That's what I wanted to make sure.
No, but I made my statement based on the fact that these 3 weekends I would not approve. So that would be my motion to deny on these 3 weekends, because
so you
the
disapprove-
constituents have reached out continuously over the summer, and I believe as a licensing body, our hands were tied because we already made that approval. And we said we were going to take a look at it in future committee sessions,
Mr.
based
Chair?
on requests.
As an alderman of this district, I have only had to have a conversation with one person who was complaining about Paulie's music, but yet told me he didn't hear a peep out of the drag racing at State Fair. And I live on 75th and Rogers, and I heard the PA speaker and I heard the drag racing, but I don't hear anything from Paulie's. So that was the only person I ever had a conversation with regarding anything with Polly's, as my constituents reached out. So just want to let you know that.
Mr. Chair?
Yes,
And I mean no disrespect, Alderman Stefanski. You were here the evening that there were public speakers that spoke at the podium about Polly's, right?
Yes, but
Okay,
more
so there
people
was
were
more
in
than-
favor of it.
Not, that evening, no one
In
came
the,
in
the
favor.
communications we've had more people in
Okay,
favor.
but what I'm saying is that evening.
Yeah. I don't base it
when
on
these
just that
people-
evening.
When these people addressed the council
Yeah.
and we received the petition, those were not people who were in favor. So you
Correct.
received a petition as well as we
No, I
got
didn't receive a
copy.
position, I just received communication from people. And if you look at the petition, not everybody was from that neighborhood. That makes a difference. I look at the people who live in the neighborhood who signed the petition.
No, that was a contrary. It was Polly's petition that had people who didn't live there. I cross-checked all the addresses
That's what I'm talking
of
about.
the residents.
I'm talking about the one that we received that people did not approve of it.
Those were all residents.
Not all of them were.
Okay, I'm not gonna debate it.
So-
That's my
Yeah,
stance on it.
The fact is that the first one we got from Polly was really, I mean, people didn't really live in the surrounding, you know, but there was a second one, right?
Right, no, I'm speaking of the
Yeah.
residents
The
who live
resident,
there,
okay.
not Polly's
All right,
counter petition.
okay.
Yeah.
Polly's counter petition had maybe 2 people that actually lived in the neighborhood. There were people from out of state that signed it, which I'm sure
I saw
were
that.
business, just people who frequented the business.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is I'm listening to the voices of the constituents in that area. And we're not gonna compare this to businesses, but it has been brought up in past. Why does one business get to do it and not the other business? Polly, you've run a summer concert series, and we supported that. We've given the bars and restaurants as much support, I think, that we can as a city and a council to bend over backwards, but we also have to listen to others and how it's impacting their well-being and their quality of life. So that's my position on it.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Alderman Rowe.
I happen to agree with Alderman Stefanski for once. I probably live almost the furthest than anybody from there, and I can hear the drag races, and I can hear State Fair, but your tent is facing north, so I don't hear it at all. So that's all I got to say.
But let's be realistic. We talk about the State Fair races, that's once in a while. I mean, it happens once a year maybe, or
No, they were doing the drag racing once a week.
once a week, yeah.
Yeah.
So the question it is, he has a couple more weekends, about I say 2, 4, 6, to really end the wintry outdoor music, So, I mean, again, to me, at this point, he has done that already, I mean, he's been operating, Again, it's a lot, but again, it's up to the committee, what you determine to follow. So we need an emotion.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I tend to agree with Alderman Grisham. The committee has been more than kind to our businesses during this particular COVID problem, you might say. Three events for 3 separate weekends is to me overwhelming, because we've had numerous complaints about Polly's and the noise and the other things that have been very negative regarding his pub.
What?
I like to encourage businesses. I really like to encourage businesses. But along with the petition, I just don't think it's fair to the neighborhood that we approve this. I can see maybe one day on each weekend, but there's too many days involved in this.
Mr. Chair?
Oh, go ahead.
Oh.
Well,
If I may ask the applicant, is this it then?
Well,
Yes or no?
I wanted to speak. The last weekend was Harvest Fest.
Well, address this to the chair first.
Oh.
Go ahead.
Okay, the last weekend is Harvest Fest, which we didn't care, we don't even care about, okay? When, this was another where the itemized list was changed, so we worked with the city to change that. So we put it as a blanket. The weekend before is Summerfest, so we don't worry about the Saturday. We just would like the 20th and this Friday, that's it. And to address the neighbors, I understand that, they can move out once a week. The major one is that one. I have never complained about 2 or 3 ambulances every single week, coroners impacting my business. You can take that as a public record. There's been coroners when I have fish fry next door at that apartment complex. I have never complained about that once. How they read the license, the police calls are 2009, apartment 1, through apartment 12. They don't add them together. 2011 through 10 on the boarding houses. I understand there was one woman that called on Monday night at 8:15 because her kids were going to bed because it just started school. So we shut the music down completely. We gave up Tuesdays completely. We've sent about 7 of them inside due to heat, due to weather and everything like that. And bands that we thought were maybe a little loud. So this is all I want. I don't even know if I'm gonna do it next year or even approach it because it's detrimental to my business and my health to have to do this and pray and beg people to stand by my business when we have way more people that come through ours and we don't have the problems that other people do. I just talked to the chief of police. We have not had calls. He has not had calls. So I don't know where all these people are coming from that all of a sudden want to complain about stuff. I know one of them was my chef's ex-girlfriend that's pissed at my chef. So I'm just telling you. So the only 2 days.
And I just, may I address a person who made a statement up here? I just want a little bit more, you said, and all the other problems that we've had at our bar, what does that mean?
Well, basically, from what I understand, with the tenting,
Yeah.
the parking is a problem. The parking is a problem, very
we had-
definitely, because the tents have taken over the parking
It was
area.
4 spots that it took. We have 60 spots in our lot.
So,
Got
so,
a lot
so,
of
so,
residents.
so let's stop right there. I think we continue to have our meeting as the committee members here, so I don't think we want to link, go ahead, Alderman Road.
So what dates are you at? You're changing a mid,
Right, well, that's what, we put them all on there because it was a new form again. So we went through with the city. So basically this Friday night and the 19th.
which is what, the 9th?
The 9th and the 19th, which is the Sunday. There's no Packer game, there's a Monday night Packer game. So that's why we thought we could do a season ending where it's decent weather and do that.
So we can eliminate the other 4 dates,
Yep,
and you just want
The 9th.
September 9th and 19th.
yes, whatever the Friday is.
Just-
10th, September 10th, sorry.
And what's the other one?
September 10th and September 19th.
That's a Sunday.
Yeah. And
So-
those are, we pulled back our hours. We've always done 3 to 7 instead of till 10, 4 to 8 on Saturdays. So we've always held the decibel level. You should have a report from the health department that came out that said we are abiding by everything to make sure that
Yep.
everything's clear and doing that.
So my question, you're looking for 4 days, right?
No,
2.
2 days, so
the 10th and the 19th.
the 19, right?
Yep.
Okay. So on your motion,
What's the motion?
The motion
motion
was
to approve
deny,
the 19,
no.
18, 19.
You
No,
change it to the
Actually,
10th.
I had already made a motion.
Oh, you
To
did?
deny,
To deny.
yes.
Okay.
So we would need a second to move that motion forward.
I'll second it.
And now we would need a vote.
Okay, all in favor of denial of the events to be held by Polly?
Aye.
Aye.
No.
No.
No. So
Okay.
3 to 2, so it's fail.
So that failed.
Okay.
For the discussion motions at this point.
So then we need a motion to approve
The 10th and the 19th, correct?
That would be the amendment.
Yeah.
amendment.
we approved the amendment first,
Yes,
and then item 62. Okay,
Okay,
so
motion
on
to approve the amendment.
second
okay,
of the 10th and the 19th.
okay, all in,
Rebecca, do you have that clarification? Because it wasn't said, really.
what do you mean was not saying?
It's just not clarified,
Oh,
so.
yeah.
The
What,
amendment was to approve or to apply for September 10th and September 19th
Yes.
only, and not the other days.
Right, he eliminated those 4 others.
Yeah,
yeah,
Correct.
so this is second?
it was seconded,
All in
yes.
favor of the motion?
Aye,
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
No,
3-2. Aye,
okay.
so the motion pass.
Now you have to pass,
So now we have to pass,
you have to
Number
vote
six.
on the,
Yeah, now we
okay,
have,
so now make a motion to approve item 62
Second,
all in favor of
As
the
amended.
motion?
as amended?
as amended.
As amended, okay.
Alderman Road?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, aye,
No.
no.
3-2, motion pass. Anything else?
are you gonna do item 14 or
Oh.
are you not?
Yeah, so it was it
Yeah.
14 that was referred?
Yes, and that is the G-spot. We'll have to speak more about, so we can
Yeah.
have discussion.
Right.
Yeah.
In,
So now we can have among the committee members further discussions in regard the new applicant for the location on Beloit Road on
And
70.
Mr. Chair, if I may.
Yeah, go ahead.
I really appreciated the fact that our community came out to speak against their concerns about a bar being located in that location because of the bad relations they had with another establishment that had nothing to do with the 2 applicants that are sitting before us. We have to remember that when we're hearing these people's cries for peace and quiet in their neighborhood. I believe that Melissa and her husband came forward and really explained what they had intended on doing with this business. They have a lot riding on this. It's not as though they're coming in and leasing the property. They're looking to actually purchase the property, become homeowners in West Allis, be a part of that community and the group of neighbors that they met in an unfortunate set of circumstances. I think they're being punished for the sins of the previous establishment. I don't think it's reasonable that they are without given a fair opportunity. I think that they have an opportunity to do what Alderman Road had suggested and look at a site plan possibly, or work with, development and say, okay, what can we do to mitigate these concerns that were now suddenly brought to our attention? So as much as these residents are feeling like they're being bombarded, I'm sure they're feeling bombarded because here they just thought, hey, I'm doing a great thing. I'm bringing business to a property that's been vacant for almost 3 years. I can't reiterate any further of my support for them besides the fact that I really think that they're being stereotyped, that this business is just gonna be a bad business because it's a bar. And that doesn't necessarily ring true to businesses. If that was the case, we'd close down. We would have never let Cheese and Sausage Factory come in. We would have never let a lot of these,
We should close every bar, right?
we'd close every bar in the city.
right.
So I really would like the committee to consider this without making it more difficult on these potential owners, because as I do, if you're owning a home, you have to do the sale, you have to do the sale of the property. They don't have all this time. They really want to move on this, and I think it's not fair to make them sit around and say, okay, well, now do this and do that and go door to door. You already see the response that the neighbors have. Going to door isn't going to change that. I believe Melissa said it very effectively, coming to the council saying, you know what? What's going to change it is action. Me going in there, my husband going in there, making the changes that are necessary, developing the relationships that are necessary. And if that alley is really the biggest problem,
That's the thing too, that alley is private property, so they should not be in the alley, their kids should
Right.
not be in the alley, the bikes should not be in the alley, they shouldn't be coming in and out of the alley. And when they're saying it's one way and it doesn't matter, like, that's my property, and to close it off we would have to build a garage, so closing off that alley would now limit my access to a garage for the house that I would live in next door.
Right, and if I may, you know, this was gonna be more for discussion for the committee members, but that's something that you can work out.
Yeah.
And I think something that potentially you'd be willing to work out.
I was,
So,
I was looking at, I was looking at the building the other day, and I was parked in that lot, and the neighbors were driving right through.
right, well,
So,
and,
you know,
and like I
mean,
said,
the neighbors that probably could have complained against me,
Yeah.
but guess what? They drove right by me, right from that alley, right through
Yeah.
the property.
So I mean,
That, if I
it's,
bought it, you know?
so we can't even make any kind of decision, we can't make any kind of plan. We can't make it because unless we are purchasing this building, it's moot point. Like,
well, and I appreciate, I'm gonna keep it just to the committee.
I'm sorry, but
everybody else talk.
My apologies as well, but I just wanted to advocate in your behalf. I do feel strongly that I think you will make a good go of this. And it is up to my other colleagues to make that decision as well, so.
Mr. Chair?
I'm speaking my piece.
Any questions?
Mr. Chair,
Alderman Rowe?
and I'll be brief. I'll try to be brief. Last Monday, you were saying, we'll close the alley, we'll make it one-way. You were.
Say that.
We have it on tape.
I said I wouldn't make any promises about putting concrete blocks.
No, you said you do whatever it takes to get the license.
Yeah.
And now you're changing again.
That's not true.
Okay.
It's on,
And I'm waiting for the site landscape and screening review and the engineering report. And as I said last Monday, there's some precedent here because we denied a liquor store in the, I'm guessing it's at 2200 block. It's right next to the 1 Hour Martinizing on Highway 100 in Lincoln. And they're going to go in the old Marinello's building where they cut hair, and they were going to put a liquor store in there. We denied it specifically because the only way in was Highway 100, and the only way out was an alley. Same thing you folks have, or want to have.
But it's been like this for 30-something years.
So was the liquor store. So was the liquor store.
To be speaking,
So we will wait for the report from the
the chair, who,
landscape and screening and the engineering report, and anything else that anybody can come up with.
Yeah.
So I-
Yeah, let's
and that's-
continue to talk among ourselves, if you don't mind.
Pardon me?
Let's talk about ourselves, you know, the issue. Let's talk about ourselves.
I thought I was.
Well, that's because,
I believe.
Yeah.
Chairman
Oh, that way,
Vitale
you,
is
okay,
very
you don't want to,
important
you don't want,
that the
okay,
discussion is
I got
among
you.
committee
This is a
members
working
and
session.
that we
Gotcha.
are not engaging the
gotcha.
applicants.
you know, first of all, you know, I hear about the alley, you know, but the alley, first of all, have to be approved by Public Works to, if you need to be blocked. Is that a public alley, right?
It is a public alley, yes.
But they can just go ahead and put say, a concrete barrier to,
They could, but you just heard them, they don't want to now. They want to put they,
No, Mr. Chair,
Well,
I want to kind of go back to Alderman Rowe, maybe you're confused. What Melissa did say at the meeting was she was not going to possibly put concrete pylons into that they'd have to look at it. A lot of these things that were just presented to them at that time, they didn't know about, were actual issues. So I think that's what she said, and I'm gonna hold it true to the fact that she said, I'm not gonna make any promises because they don't know what those issues were quite yet. So I just wanted to clarify that. She didn't say anything about not being willing to put concrete barriers. She just said, I don't know that we'd be putting pylons into the ground.
what we talking about right now about the, any concrete barriers is not for the license and health, really. That's a public, city West Allis public alley. So have to go through Public Works to approve it, to block the alley for any entryway or exiting the alley, really. It's not, this portion is not really our job, you know, really. That's Public Works.
it is, because why don't we wait for the engineering review
Yeah,
and
I
the
mean,
site
that's fine.
landscaping? Because any blockage of that alley would be on their property.
They're probably on both sides, I mean, yeah.
Or maybe there's some city right-of-way there, and
It is a city
we,
right away.
well, how far in? How far off the concrete? And maybe we could help them by putting barriers up there.
Yeah, that's.
So let's wait for the, let's hold this and wait for the site landscape review and the engineering report.
Always,
the other thing I noticed is, and I had a feeling this was gonna happen, people were not gonna like the name. Now, granted, it's freedom of speech. They can have whatever name they want. but I had a feeling that there was gonna be residents who were not gonna like the name of that bar. And honestly, I understand where you guys were coming from with the name of it, but I just knew that it was gonna be a problem.
Mr. Chair,
Alderman Reinke.
how many of us have viewed this property? Have we all viewed the property?
Yeah, I drove there a lot.
The property consists of the building with the tavern, also the empty lot, and the home. We're discussing the license of the bar. I think originally that was not a bar. I think it was a duplex, and they made, because it has a upper level where people are residing, are living, and down below, it was made into a bar. There's no record, basically, of the building permit that I could locate. It was built in, I guess, 1941, so there's no building permit that was given. But there's other duplexes in the area that I've noticed that are similar, and I'm thinking it probably was built as a duplex, and then probably the bottom was remodeled into the tavern. But that's neither here nor there. But I think it was converted into a tavern, basically because the kitchen, as I understand, is a regular home kitchen, not a tavern kitchen. So anyway, my feeling is that there's other uses for this property. It doesn't have to be a bar. It could be converted into a duplex again. It could be converted into a beauty shop or a barber shop, or used as a professional building for a lawyer or a clerk or anyone of that capacity. It doesn't have to be a bar. And the neighbors 52 neighbors have indicated that they don't want a tavern. Previous to this, the license committee took away their license because there were so many problems. You're right, as far as looking past, there were drugs, there were fights, unbelievable what all was taking place. Shootings even, and a lot of noise. I mean, it wasn't well run by the last person who leased the building. The property, as I indicated to you, includes that house. Did you take a look at the house? These people want to move probably from a lovely house in Menominee Falls to this house that should be a tear down. It's blighted. It hasn't been, the owner has not taken good care of the house. It's terribly looking. It's blighted for the whole neighborhood. It's a shame that we have something like that in that block.
They're painting and putting in new windows.
I am talking.
I'm sorry. That's
Uh,
why it looks like that.
I was appalled, but we're talking about the license. But my feeling is the owner itself, he didn't market it properly. He marketed it as a tavern. There's other uses that could be done to, where the neighborhood would be more acceptant of something of a lower nature, you might say lower, how do I explain it? Where there weren't so many problems, or there wouldn't be so many problems. I don't know what plans these people have for enhancing the property, but it needs help. It really needs help. Like I say, the house is a tear down. That was from, the people that live there have been there since 1936. But I can't see that these people want to live in a house like that. And the property could be utilized a different way than a tavern where the people are so against it.
It could be turned into a duplex just as well, up or down.
It could be very definitely. If you looked in the area, there's there's
Lot
a
of
couple of
duplex. Yeah,
duplexes on 76th Street.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
First of all, are you finished, Alderwoman Ranky, you're finished?
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
Yes.
It's not our job to be real estate agents. I mean, honestly, if this applicant wants to purchase the home, whether it's contingent on the sale of the bar, the business, otherwise, what they want to invest, if anything, I'm encouraged to say, wow, you want to buy a house that might be blighted and fix it up? That's great, because you'll be better value. We have to look at the bottom line there. Be better value, better addition to the community. I stated my case on this, and I respect the 52 people who signed the petition. I respect the applicants for wanting to come in and make a go of this business. I think it's difficult that, it's hard for me to make it so difficult when you see a business that has had success, who has turned things around in a previous establishment that wasn't a great reputation either, and they're offering and looking to put their name and their money and their home on the line to make a go of it at another business in West Dallas, and we're giving them a really hard time. That is discerning to me. I think we should find a way to work with applicants and not just, give a blanket no based on the conduct of a previous business. I certainly would not have appreciated that going into my salon and hearing someone say, well, the previous barber was a slob, they never picked up their garbage, they did this, there was hair everywhere, and that they dictated that I couldn't be there. And I should have a right as kind of free market to say, okay, I could own a business, I can and turn this around, and it's my investment.
I felt many ways that way the last license and health meeting that we had. But, the fact it is that when we have the locations that it seems to me that the neighbors, they signed, 52 people signed a petition, to more or less now wanting our town, because really, and I agree with all the person, Reinke, years ago, probably was a duplex that was utilized. So back then, I don't know how they did it. They converted that to a tavern, the little unit, that's a tavern, was a tavern for quite a while, which to me, the way it sits, and like we talked with all the person, Rosalie Rank, that says, I'm gonna go check it out. I know I was familiar with that, but I went there physically. I said, how in the world a tavern just need to be here, really, in a residential neighborhood? You got a clinic right on the corner there. It was an optical clinic, and and to me that location, the more I'm thinking about it, doesn't really fit there. It's not a location for the taverns, really. And I feel like I say, initially I was in support for, but the more I've been going through with this, and then again, we're in a democratic process. We got 52 neighbors. Normally, we don't get that many signatures for something like that, but this is a lot. This is a lot. 52 people really come around opposing it. To me, that's something normally happens when you got a bigger business coming in, a big project, that we get so many signatures, whether to approve it or not, or be in favor or not, So that's what I feel. Maybe it's time that we, in this case, the location, the alderman had a lot of problem years ago, and now, sure, we got a new applicant. Maybe the new applicant is going to be straighten things out. They're going to have a good environment. They're going to have a good patrons, But the bottom line is, the location doesn't fit to be a tavern, really. The more I've been thinking about it, really, in all fairness, I feel that way now. And I respect Alderman person Christian, her statements, as she said, fine, I mean, it's new people, they buy the house next door. But I'm surprised we didn't have building inspection actually go check that property already, you know, for being.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
We have a representative from building inspection there right now, and
That's what I'm saying.
is there a
you know?
summons and complaint on that, or where are you at?
It's in court, correct?
It's in court.
That's in court. See, that's what the more thing I've been find out for, you know, that's what it really changed my mind, really. You know, the property has been the owner that owns that property. Well, he's been disregarding the fact that building inspection went through there, and he looks the other way.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Okay, all these points, and I just have to give, so we're saying, okay, let's keep the business that's not occupied right now with an owner who technically is not doing what he should do to improve the properties. And we're gonna say no to the people who are going to sell their nice home in Menominee Falls and come buy these properties to try to make a go of a legitimate business, improve the property. We would rather see us take it on the chin for the city and have a raise order and what, condemn it? Because the 52 neighbors are basing their concerns on a previous business and basically stereotyping another business that it's gonna have the same problems when we're having a commitment from applicants who truly want to make a difference. So, I mean, that wasn't a question, it's a statement. I'm seeing a business that wants to come in, but we're looking at, oh, well, I wouldn't want to buy that house because it doesn't look nice and it's falling apart and it should be raised. I mean, I think you guys are getting my point here. I would rather see this
All
be a
percussion. I've
viable
been around a
business.
long time. I've been seeing a lot of people come around. They look straightforward. They're really honest about it, you know. And then things in time they changes, you know, because that's where it is. Sometimes the type of a business, I don't care the person that present themselves. That's fine, and I appreciate that. But the bottom line is, things in time for many people they've been coming from the License and Health Committee. Years ago, I was in License and Health Committee, and still, after a while, things turn sour because of the things that happens. The type of a clientele, even they try to keep the bad apples out of there, but still, that things happens. And what happened in some areas, that's more fit to have an establishment such as a tavern, but maybe some areas doesn't really fit to have a tavern in a heavily residential neighborhood. Really, you know, like all the person Rangi says, years ago was built as a duplex, was people living in.
Chairman Vidali, we live in Wisconsin. There is a bar in every residential
Well, but that's
corner.
besides the point. The residential corner, I mean, but the point is that the areas, you know, sometimes it makes a difference where the location is.
I agree with you,
Yeah,
but I
the
gave
location.
my points,
Yeah.
and that's my stance.
Yeah, so I mean,
I
so
would vote
the
in
question
favor.
is, I don't think we can discuss this any further, really.
No, but we have to wait now for a site landscape
Yeah,
and screening
so I
report
think we're done tonight.
and an
really.
engineering
I think
review.
we
So we're
should
going to
move
hold,
on And not really,
right? Yeah.
So,
we can just hold it.
No action right now.
Gail, what action do
action.
we take now?
The committee could either just simply take no action, which would effectively keep it on the agenda for the following as a previous matter, or if you want to make a motion to postpone to the 21st or another particular date, that's fine as well, however the committee would like to proceed, if that's the idea. So, if you just do nothing, it will appear on the next agenda on the 21st as an old matter, or a previous matter.
Okay.
I think
wanna-
that would
if you
be a
wanna take
benefit
a-
to go to the 21st.
Well, what do you think?
Well,
What
I-
is your opinion, Alderperson?
Like I said, out on the council floor, let's get a site landscape and screening review from planning, from Steve, and then an engineering report, because like I said, 3 years ago, that was in discussion with the previous, I know nobody wants to hear about the previous, but the previous, about doing the bollard tubes or some sort of jersey walls or something back there to close off that alley.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
if that's the Alderman's intent, then you could move to postpone until you receive those two.
Okay, that would be my motion, to postpone until I receive the reports from these two departments.
But we don't need no, we still need an emotion, right?
Yes, because it won't be scheduled until the clerk receives those reports.
Okay. So we have an emotion, but Alderperson,
I'll second it.
all in favor of the emotion?
Aye.
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 No.
4-1 have been approve to postpone it,
Motion to adjourn.
to adjourn. Okay. All in
Second.
favor of the adjournment?
We need a second.
Second.
Seconded.
All
Oh,
in
you did,
favor?
okay, didn't hear you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yeah, I'm closer to her.
Now we got advisory.
Advisor, yes.
Advisor, Alderman.
Your, it's your show.
Okay. Advisory come to order. First on the agenda, let the minutes reflect that all members are present. Could you please discuss whatever out in the hallway, please?
Sorry.
Thank you, thank you. Number 63, a reappointment of Mayor Devine of Hollis Potzer, Steve Hook, Dawn Koschek, Caroline Doty, and Marcia Lawson to the
I don't know who those
Community
people are. I
Development
move for approval
Block Grant
anyway.
Committee.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Next, we have number 64, the appointment of Katie Kruger as the District 2 representative to the Community Development Block Grant Committee.
Move for approval.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded.
It's in your
Discussion?
district.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Aye.
Carried.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So we have a